Bolts problems everywhere. The calendar changes, but the Chargers' problems do not change. Kansas City's offense won the first half of the game. Kansas City's defense, won the second half of the game. Patrick Mahomes in the opening half, before you went to the fridge to get your second beer, was 12 of 14 for 323 in the first half.
Incredible.
And then Travis Kelce, he just happened to go crazy. Kelce winds up with 12 catches, 179 yards. Mahomes finished with 424 yards passing. Kansas City, against the smart guy defensive scheme that Brandon Staley put out on the field, Kansas City had 523 yards in offense against Brandon Staley's defensive game plan. On top of that, Kansas City had a 96-yard drive against that defense. Kansas City had a 50-yard punt return that led to the touchdown that sealed the deal. And Kansas City's defense in the second half, Chargers, 6 possessions, no touchdowns, 2 pass interceptions. And in typical Charger fashion, big plays everywhere by the other guy. Kansas City, 16 plays of plus 10. Chunk plays of 47, 48, and 54 yards, in addition to the big punt return. Justin Herbert started strong first half. He was matching first downs with Patrick Mahomes. Josh Kelly had the 49-yard touchdown run. The kid had a breakout game, Josh Palmer. 61-yard pass reception, went over the 100-yard mark. Second half, could not protect the quarterback. 5 sacks, 2 picks. Does anybody have any confidence any longer in Brandon Staley? And here I am, because I've watched the game. I chart plays. I look at formations. I'm sorry. I'm wired differently.
I can just picture it. This is awesome.
Shut up. I tell my wife, shut up. Quit yelling at the TV. I'm trying to write this down and pay attention at the same time. Brandon Staley opened with a zone. They dropped all their guys deep. And Travis Kelce says, I see that. I'm going to go out here, sit in the middle of the zone, catch the ball, turn and go upfield. Yeah. They ran the zone the whole first half. And Mahomes went 12 for 14 for 323 in the first half. I've never seen that in my entire life of broadcasting or covering the NFL. Smart guy, Brandon Staley, on his resume, front page of the resume, said defensive coordinator, great success, Rams. Where? Not with the Bolts.
No.
This is just awful. So, Fans Forum, burning question, because he's going to answer it. Do you have any confidence any longer in what Brandon Staley represents as the Chargers head coach? They're 2-4. They got to play Kansas City again. They got to play at Baltimore. They got Detroit. It's just not going to get any easier. They've dug themselves a hole, and I don't think they can climb out of the hole that Brandon Staley, head coach, has dug for them. Your response?
Hashtag fire Staley. I mean, that's the line right there. This guy, I mean, are they still 31 or 32 in the NFL?
Oh, they're 32 lock solid.
Oh, they are.
They're now giving up 406 yards per game defensively.
Insane. Yeah. So, we know that the defense wasn't going to be good in the beginning of the year. But you are saying that this is going to be the greatest Chargers offense since Phillip Rivers, LT, and Gates, and maybe better than Fouts and Winslow and Charlie Joyner. So maybe is Justin Herbert maybe not as good as we're always gushing about this guy?
He's playing with one hand. If you watch closely, like I watch, I know you're popping the cap off your beer and you're yelling at the TV. If you watch closely, he's handling the ball differently to protect that fractured finger. So that impacts him, I think, setting up to throw, and obviously on handoffs. He pulls that left hand back, and he's handing off with one hand. So he's not right. Offensive for line, to me, has been a big disappointment. And that incorporates everybody from what I thought was going to be a real start, left tackle Rashawn Slater, to the guards. The loss of the center, Corey Linsley, with this heart arrhythmia issue, I believe, because they've not detailed what's good. He's not back. He's not coming back for a while. That's a big issue. There is no power run game. Occasionally, Josh Kelly will pop a 5 or a 10-yard run. There's nothing significant yet with Austin Eckler. The wide receivers, losing Mike Williams has hurt. There's not a lot of down the field stuff because the quarterback's hurt. They can't protect the quarterback, and the guys down the field aren't getting open very often. So there's problems offensively, and obviously you give up 406 yards per game, and we're almost to midseason. You got all kinds of personnel problems defensively, and your smart guy coach operates a zone against Mahomes and Travis Kelce.
Yeah, I mean, that's just crazy. I mean, he's just going to pick them apart. But I don't know. I mean, if you share with us what's ahead of the Chargers on the schedule, I mean, there's a chance they don't even finish 500. I mean, they may be below 500. This is a disgrace. This is supposed to be one of the top teams in the AFC, and they keep failing. I mean, so yeah, it's time for Staley to go. I mean, I don't even know if he survives the season.
This little black button over here, I think that's the eject button. When he hits that, that means somebody's leaving their job, whether that's in baseball or whether that's in the NFL. Fans Forum question for you're a Charger fan, because you're going to do this show, the back half of the show. You're going to do the show. Fans Forum question. Brandon Staley in over his head. Is it too early to fire this coach just 2.5 years into his run? Let's hop